for deciding to chill with me today. We are going to be doing some Depersonalization. It's an early access game that I got with my PC Game Pass. Not sure why you can't see the game. Here we go, done. Okay. Guess I don't get to read that. But based on it saying that depersonalization is a disorder, I'm going to put a trigger warning. I don't know what we're in for. There was not a lot of description in the game on the Xbox store. Did it crash? It might have crashed. Let's give it a second. It's stuck on the loading screen. Okay. Well, let's try this again. Yep, it crashed. So close program. Great start, great start. I will turn down the volume if it gets to be a problem. It could just be that the menu screen or title screen is a bit loud. Okay, that's bobbing up and down now. Oh, speak too soon. Okay, now go. Settings. Audio. Ten. Don't know how loud that's gonna be just yet. Move with oh, okay. WASD, interact with F, confirm a space. I'm sure it'll give us all of that, so we won't spoil anything. Very pretty. Dev team save data. Okay. Do you want to enter the tutorial before starting the game? You can re-enter the tutorial from the Temple of Space-Time if you need to. No, let's just go ahead. You wake up in a strange room. You scan your surroundings before locating your psi back into your body. You scan your surroundings before locating your psi back onto your body. You feel a little heavy and a strange sense of confinement is making you uncomfortable. A bizarre rhythm beats inside you and you concentrate to feel it. Is our name Tawil? Starkey, my reflection in the mirror. My power is limited, and thus I cannot grant you the knowledge you need. You must learn the laws of this dimension yourself. Okay, so this is obviously not a American studio. When I was choosing the language for the game, I believe it automatically chose Chinese. and I had to change it to English. So there may be some grammatical errors and translational errors. This place is unlike the mental one, and you have to be accustomed to the gravity's grasp. Also, as previously stated and in the stream title, this is early access. I don't know how much is available. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of ironing out that they'll need to do. Your body is not an imprisonment imposed on your mind, but its extension and realization. Now you must first learn to control yourself. Use WASD or left joystick to move to target location. We will start from moving. Familiarize yourself with the laws of the world while you move around. We do have a sprint, okay. You have come to be used to moving in the physical world. The familiar rhythm beats through you once again. Star key, the most important law of the physical world is to survive. Now I shall remove the censorship on your senses at a pace, and you shall feel hunger. Okay. Oh. Suddenly a strange sensation rises from deep inside your body. Your body feels like enfeebled, your strength drained, and your spirit waning. Take the bread. You need food to keep your body healthy. Star key. There is more to life than pain. What's star key? What is that supposed to... Your primal instincts will guide how you survive. Open the menu by pressing tab on the keyboard or Y on your controller and use bread in your backpack to restore HP. Items have a range of effects when used. Some items can restore HP, SP, and other resources. Press tab, bags. Luck. There will be a day when your luck runs out. Don't overuse it. Driven by a primal desire, you eat the food in front of you. A feeling of satisfaction spreads across your body, driving off the feebleness. And with that comes the warmth that fuels your heart. You have felt it, the joy of life and a step away from death. A door appears not far from you. Star key. Doors are both nodes of nexus and walls of protection. The physical world is small and vast. Doors will be your starting points from which you will journey into the unknown. To open them, you must have what it takes to explore. Move to and interact with the door. Check the door of the room. You try to open the door, but it refuses to move. You checked the bolt and it seems locked. Press and hold C on the keyboard to see what's new in the room to interact with it. Interesting, okay. You open the cabinet, it's full of all sorts of things. You need the one that opens the door. Next, you will learn the concept of a check. In this world, there are events that will lead to path diverged if interfered with. When performing a check, it will be a success if the observed result value is less than or equal to your ability value. Conversely, the check will be a failure. If you're not satisfied with the result, you try again to have an alternate result. Result needed success. So was I trying to beat? You search the cabinet and eventually find a key. A strange and familiar feeling rises from inside you. Now you can leave this room. Found a clue. Key to and luck. Our luck increased, okay. The tutorial of the stage is complete. Check other tutorials or exit. So we just got done with basics. Okay. All in one and one in all. This is a story of the forgotten. When a false history descends, how do humans decide their fate? If your whole life was built upon falsehoods, would you still be willing to share your spark to light up? I want to skip the prologue.
In the deepest recesses of consciousness itself. Star T. You are my sole remaining connection to the mortal realm. You also represent my last hope to break through this prison of time and space that I have been confined within.
What's a CVS speaker?
At present, the history here is unable to be altered. I must return to the beginning of consciousness and fall dormant for a period of time. Before I do so, I ask that you act in my place within in this period. Only you can break through the barriers of this time and space and create an opportunity for us.
I think I'm just gonna read. You are standing in your parents' bedroom as a child of nearly 8 years. Currently, you are in the process of replacing the daffodils in the vase that your mother keeps at her bedside. Your mother is laying on the bed, awake, but very much tired. Hello, Mother. Mother, my aunts and uncles are all still sleeping. I couldn't wake them up, so I snuck out into the garden and picked some flowers for you. Do you think they'll be upset with me? The woman's face showed sadness, but held a look of acceptance as she took in the child's words. She sat up and slowly began to speak to the child before her. No, my child, you've done nothing wrong. Everyone's just tired. They need a good rest. It would be best if you didn't disturb them. Annan, you have been such a good care taking care of me. When I'm feeling a little better, let's move to the town together. You'll be able to make a lot of friends and have a little more freedom. Are you sure? Grandpa told me that I needed to stay in the castle. Don't worry, my dear. Grandpa will surely agree. Annan, could you pass along a message to Grandpa? I'm feeling much better now. Please tell Grandpa not to worry. Make sure to avoid the Chamber of Secrets, AO, or he'll be angry. You promised your mother that she could count on you. Now it's time to leave so that she can continue to rest. Talk to Grandfather, and our luck went up. Secret dice check, skill counter, bonus and penalty dice. The combination of a variety of utility parts, if used skillfully, you can make a variety of handy items. Kerosene lamp. Main tool used for light on a daily basis. The kerosene is burning non-stop, which often leads to a fire due to the sparks jumping around. Okay, seems to be a weapon. There is a picture of your immediate family. A little boy was sitting on the knees of a gray-haired old man. Behind him stood a young couple smiling happily. Mother made you promise not to open this drawer. That's a promise you feel you should keep. What you got in your drawer, Mom? What was that? Water bottle. Increase moist. Moist. Extinguish the flame or direct the current. Excuse me? These translations, I don't know what they're trying to say most of the time. You close the bathroom door quietly behind you as you leave the room. Candles. Burn the why would I burn the carpet? Oh. Hello. sudden, don't you think? For some unknown reason, you suddenly feel creepy, as if there are many invisible dangers lurking around you. You hear strange voices all around you, taunting and mocking at you. However, after only one gasp, this feeling disappears. A heavy sound rings from behind you, like a door being pushed open with great force. You take a look back, and a man covered in bandages pushes away the family portrait and slowly steps out of it into the stone corridor. Why are you going to Mother's room? My lovely Grace, my beautiful angel. Finally, we can be together forever. What the f- An unusual aura of black mist swirls and swiftly dissipates into nothingness. You watch your parents simply disappear in what was less than smoke and dust. You swear you heard a string break inside you. The handwriting on the paper is delicate, and you recognize it as your mother's. It seems to be for your father. Ronald, my love, Father warned me not to see you now. The only way I can convey my thoughts to you is by letter. Annan has woken up. You don't need to worry about our child. What we had planned worked, and he has forgotten the... What's that? Old pocket watch. There's a chain at the end of the watch which would fit in the vest pocket. Is there a... mystery? Forgotten the incident. I will spend what time remains for me with our child. I hope to protect him from pain as long as I can. If we can't overcome this disaster, though, Ronald, my last wish is to die with you. Fascinating. Okay. So that was our dad? Question mark. Oh, also bags, flour. No, that's our luck. The flour. Just, I don't think I want to destroy it. Look out the window. Outside is a world where the sun and moon dance, the grass roams free, and the forest thrives. It's the world you've always wanted to see for yourself. So we've only ever lived in the castle? We haven't, like, gone outside or anything? The moment you walk into the study, the flow of time around you completely freezes. As you notice something changing in the air, you struggle to stand and lose consciousness. When you regain consciousness, your grandfather is there standing in front of you. You also almost immediately notice a gate that you have never seen in the study before. My dear grandchild, you are the family's last hope. George Howard. Never trust a man with two first names. While the stars of the world all abide by rules and patterns, the destinies of people themselves are different. We've made you bear far too much responsibility. So now, child, I'll give you 10 years of freedom. My grandfather pointed to the stone gate standing in the center of the study. The gate seemed to connect two worlds together. You see the meadow and forest spread far on the other side of the gate. You notice that grandfather's tone seems different today. He's acting far softer than normal, creating a sense of discomfort within you. You subconsciously voice that you sense doubt climbing up from your chest. Grandfather, are we going together? Grandpa, I don't want to leave. I want to stay with you. I don't want to leave here. I don't like the outside world. I want to be with Mom and Dad. I don't want to leave you. My dear grandchild, I couldn't give you a good childhood. It's all Grandpa's fault. Grandpa couldn't save your parents. All your grandpa can do is offer you 10 years of freedom to live life as you wish. Anand, my pride and joy. Even if you feel sad, please face life with optimism. I know you'll continue to suffer as the haze builds up in your heart, so please try to forget what came before. Forget the stone walls you've lived in and your home here. Oh, he's giving me amnesia. Forget the faces of all of us, your family. Forget the memories that bind you to this place. Forget everything that happened here. Child, remember, the sky is always connected. No matter where you are, the stars will light your way home. In your eyes, the gate now turns into a soft and comfortable bed. A wave of exhaustion washes over you. Now all you want is to rest, a comfort the bed ahead can provide. I'm not controlling this. You stumble through the door in a daze. The meadow, forest, and even the bed you just saw there were all there that you saw that were all there only a second ago vanished, as if it were all a dream. There was no dream, though, as the above rainstorm calls out its fury. Ahead, you watch as the rain fiercely pours upon the town in front of you, Dunwich. The heavy rain guides the river water and causes the huge castle standing on the cliff to collapse instantly. The town of Dunwich now was merely a forgotten pile of rubble and rain. You feel dizzy from the unbelievable destruction you witnessed and fall to the side of the road unconscious. Moments later, a gray-haired old man drives down the rain-drenched road in a Ford. The blinding headlights shine down on you lying on the ground. Okay, so there's cars, and I don't know if they're sponsored, but I don't know if they can say that. The driver quickly realizes that you are unconscious, that you are unconscious, and carries you back into the car. In this violent wind and rain, judging the land below, he drove past the mudslide and continued on his way. 10 years later, night, dormitory, Providence. Public security is only getting worse. There's already another incident. I should follow the doctor's advice and get to bed earlier today. I really hope this medicine actually works. Patient seems to have experienced severe memory loss without any lasting damage in other physical or mental functions themselves. Based on patient's explanation, he is able to slowly piece together the missing memories by small amounts at a time, though with tremendous pain. Unfortunately, by the time he is able to even get anywhere near the deeper portions of his memories, the pain becomes too much and he's unable to continue. The problem lies with what comes next. If he doesn't attempt to look through these memories for an extended period of time, then it fades as if he'd not remembered it in the first place. This means that he finds himself at the start of the gate he'd been venturing if he doesn't keep at it. On the other hand, if you ignore the memories, then they become like a massive boulder sitting inside your head, slowly accumulating more and more mass. So the question is, how could we create a physical application to interact with memories, or is it a question of the pain we... Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't able to scroll. The latter seems far too dangerous, whereas the former will take time to come to a solution. Without being able to identify the cause of these symptoms, the best path forward is to attempt sleep-aiding medications to allow the patient the opportunity to break this standstill. That concludes the report. Main symptoms include, but are not limited to, insomnia, palpitation accompanied by hallucinations, poor appetite, partial emotional functional loss, and difficulty in retrieving older memories. Blood pressure result is 102/51. Patient's blood pressure is concerning and could be due to rapid mental changes in line with his current memory difficulties. It is recommended to avoid alcohol and stimulating activities. It is also advised to attempt to sleep at an earlier time to allow the body greater time to recover. A small amount of benzolam has been prescribed to the patient as a means to reduce stress levels and prevent any major potential incidents in day-to-day life. Take the medicine bottle from the cabinet. Benzoylin, used in small doses. Medication prescribed by your doctor to act as a stress-reducing agent, which he hopes could be a counter-effect from the effects of sleep traumas and hallucinations. Take the medicine. I hope that I can actually have a good dream for once. I still don't know what determines success. Despite the medication, your restless anticipation of potential good rest is preventing you from being able to immediately fall asleep as the sound of your heartbeat rings out. Many strange images flow through your mind, and you begin to be able to tell whether you are half asleep or awake. Ignore. Ignore. I can't control my body. I'm supposed to be in a dream, aren't I? No matter how real it seems, it's just a dream. Wake up from a nightmare, forcefully pushing yourself against the back of your bed in a cold sweat. Whatever attacked you left no wounds. It was just your imagination. Oh, we had sleep paralysis. Great. Even so, your body acts as though that pain was real, sending waves of anguish through you. As you try to calm down, you breathe deeply in a few times and slowly begin to feel yourself accepting that it was just a dream. You hesitate for a moment, but you fall back asleep exhausted. As you slowly enter the realm of sleep once again, this time you are uninterrupted by the many nightmares that usually haunt your restless self. There is no written message on the envelope, but the seal itself feels strangely familiar. You've opened the envelope subconsciously. Anand, my amazing grandson, today is your 18th birthday. I've prepared a birthday present for you that is waiting in my study. I hope you don't mind. Hello, how are you? We're just playing a game called Depersonalization. It's early access. There's a few translational errors, but other than that, we just began. We're technically still in the prologue. I hope you don't mind the brevity, but I'm sure you'll find it easily. You are our family's last hope, and I truly believe that you'll be able to overcome this disaster. I'm good. Just enjoying my Monday. How are you? Why did the letter disappear? Your mind is flooded with fragmented images like it's all a dream you've yet to awaken from. This game does have AI text to speech, um, but I personally don't like it, so I'm reading it myself. Life's fine. Same old, same old. The very memories that you've been unable to grasp are now themselves reaching out to you. You are unable to fully process it all at once, but it sits there like smoke waiting. Um, I don't know. I just got it off of the PC Game Pass for that's linked with the Xbox app. I'm gonna turn the music down a little. Uh, Come on, get to the. There we go. Done. Where was I? But it sits there like smoke waiting. You imagine it will be a matter of time now before the missing portions fit back together. Fortunately for you, processing the bundle of memories doesn't feel painful this time around. The picture comes to your mind as if it were something on the edge of your consciousness all this time. You see a castle standing in the night. So, to give you a rundown, when we started the game, we were by our mother's bedside at about 8 years old. We left our mother's bedroom to go give a message to our grandfather that our mom gave us. As we were walking down the hallway, a creature or being crawled out of uh, a painting. and from the description of the creature, it was our deceased father. He walked to our mother's bedroom, and they both disappeared. We then went to our grandfather, who erased our memory and cast us out from the castle into normal life. We can't remember anything, so we went to a psychiatrist who was giving us medication to try to remember, but every time we try to remember, it physically hurts us. And that's where we are currently. Above and around it, the sky and the stars creating a dazzling work of art. There's a chapel on the west side and a stargazing pavilion in a dome-like structure. It all seems so familiar. Slowly, then all at once, the memories of your family hit you like a waterfall that had been plugged. There's also a dice roll check that happens randomly depending on an action that we're doing. I don't know what constitutes as we passed or we failed. Let's see. Tranquilizer. Remove confusion can only be used when SP does not, spiritual power does not exceed 65. It's our medical records, food, and money. I don't know how to pronounce that. Kagul Parka? This coat is designed for long journeys, made with sturdy materials that withstand the test of time. Splint. Materials. I can then go to tab, I think. Oh, our watch is gone. Oh, here it is. And what's the note? Go. Got an umbrella. The newspaper's front page is detailing news of major safety incidents involving meat products sent to the city of Arkham. Although the food companies involved have resolved the issues, most of the food has already entered the market. Those who consume those food products have displayed highly unusual symptoms. While the incubation symptoms are not necessarily obvious, it writes the patients have often fallen into mania, fits, impulsiveness, and extreme irritability. This has already led to several violent conflicts with victims. We don't know who Amy is. I haven't finished reading it. I still need to also return this thesis as well to the library afterwards. Okay. Well, we might as well go to the library. It's been 10 years since our mom and dad disappeared, so we're currently 18. This is a poster of the Opera Tosca. Amy, I have to leave school for a while. The last book you borrowed from me will have to wait a little longer for it to be returned. That's okay. The book, if you have not finished, just keep it there. It's okay. Well, I'll read it as soon as I can. I had to take the thesis somewhere, you know? Thesis. Okay. Maybe not her. Do I talk to you? Miss Julia is a professor of history and linguistics at the university. She's been rather tough on you because she believes you're talented and would like you to inherit her work. Recently, that relationship has been a little strained. You clearly got to your recent class on time. However, no one has any memory of you being there. Huh? Annan? Do you have time to wander around? Get back to class. Miss Julie, I'm going to be out of school for a while. You young people are always wasting your time. Nothing but nonsense is what it is. Drinking, partying, gambling, traveling, and so on. All students these days seek is to have fun first and foremost. See, and I don't know why we succeeded. Do we have to be lower than this number? If we get higher than that number, is it a fail? I don't know. Julie was not really angry with you. Her expression showed a look more akin to frustration and disappointment. I finished my homework yesterday, actually. I promise I'll try to catch up on the lessons I've missed when I get back. And you must remember, as a researcher, you must not fall into a habit of slacking off. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this once. Here's a summary of the lectures for the next few weeks. A man was reading a book intently. Eye of newt and toe of frog, hair of bat and teeth of dog. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. Okay. Recently the school closed the second floor. It's a pity as all of the older texts are up there. Apparently the reason for the closure has to do with some kind of theft. A witness claimed they saw a monster hovering in the air somewhere on the second floor. They described the monster like a bat and it was carrying a pile of books to its chest. The witness then said that the monster found him and knocked him out before leaving. Before he passed out, he mentioned smelling something terrible, like fresh maggots crawling out of a sewer. The police played it off as some hallucination of a student. Do you think what he saw was really a hallucination? He claimed to event selection. Hallucination is the phenomenon of distortion of perceptual results under specific circumstances. If this phenomenon did not occur often, then what he saw was unlikely to have been an illusion. Yes, great. I'm actually the witness I was referring to before. Ever since that day, I felt a mixture of fear and wonder from what I saw. I want to know the truth. You could try to help the police further their investigation as a witness. In order to do that, you would need to modify your statement, and it would be best not to be too subjective. Otherwise, people will just think you are hallucinating. You have a good point. Thank you. Paper something. Paper. Splint. Okay, this wasn't an item. As soon as you enter the room, you see Carl drinking his way to enlightenment as usual. You hear him happily humming a tune of his own creation, while writing what you believe to be his manuscript. Since the start of human evolution, countless fragments of consciousness have existed within the great sea of unconsciousness. The common habits humans have established were derived from a sense of collective consciousness that society enacts. What was it that came first, the concept of human clusters, or was it the ocean of consciousness that established deeper thought? What is the deepest part of a dream? In the ocean I describe as consciousness, is there nothing awaiting its deepest depths, or are there greater beings able to manipulate the consciousness of humanity? The human mind and body are connected in some manner, that much is true. The mind is not an invisible thing independent of the body. Everyone is born with a brain capable of generating emotions and thinking in some manner to different degrees. Okay. Professor Carl, why are you drinking again? I don't plan to drink once the day comes to an end. I'm not an alcoholic for crying out loud. And do you understand the idea of wearing another persona? I don't quite understand what you're getting at, Professor. Alright, so as an example, a drunkard is one of my personas. When I'm drunk, I can relax my mind and release my emotions to a much degree to a much greater degree than normal. On that note, I still have more wine on hand. Would you like to try for yourself? You should experience a variety of emotions rather than sticking to your norm of comfortable. In a sense, emotions are a greater form of empathic and comprehensible knowledge. It's just good for you to experience the world in various ways. I already know that, Professor. I've already been trying something similar, in my case, trying to understand emotions through literature. Do you enjoy it, or at least do you feel like it's been beneficial to you? I hate it. No, specifically, I hate stories. People tell stories, put themselves in a position of authority. They use these stories to elaborate their own values that they believe to be correct. Santa Claus keeps a list of bad children. Only hardworking bees are allowed to be given honey. Women were made from one Adam's ribs. These well-known stories are laced with personal values and truths. The wider the story is told, the more it constrains people to act as a form of truth. The stories fight for power with the winners being a form of fact or cultural standard. I just think it's an excuse for power. So you're more interested in the world's actual history. History is written by the winners. Even so, there's still truth can be interpreted and observed. No one can return to the past themselves, after all. All we have is the interpretation of others. The current way of humanity, after all, is to understand the past as a grand narrative, after all. Well, regardless, I don't suppose you came here today to discuss your studies. Professor, I've come to say that I'm leaving for some time. I'm going back to Arkham. That's great to hear. Even if you hadn't decided to do so, I'd have done my best to persuade you eventually. People's past experiences will affect aspects of the present in some manner. We've been unable to get any results from with form of trance therapy I've attempted after all. I'm certain that it's those lost memories that are the cause of your current problems. Even so, don't put too much expectation into this. Even if nothing comes of it, you can still see it as a relaxing holiday trip. People still need a driving sense of purpose. Yes, I understand, Professor. I hope that by the time you return, I have a better understanding myself of your condition. Here are the keys to the car. I won't be traveling anytime soon anyway. If you feel like you owe me, you can just wash it for me on the way back. It has been with me for many years, and just like me is an old soul. Thank you for everything, Professor. What did we get? Oh, car keys. What lies before you is a desk that carries piles and piles of notes, academic theses, books, and small notes that look to have been written and swiftly forgotten. Yeah, okay, so I think as long as you roll under this, whatever number or whatever skill this number turns out to be, we pass. Sir, what is this picture? It came in the mail from a previous patient I worked with. He wanted to thank me for curing his strange disease. He's rather young, but he was complaining that his memory is getting worse rapidly. He told me that it was all tied to some strange dream that he forgot the contents of upon waking up each day. All I remembered was that there was some place he wanted to go. So I aided him into achieving a trance-like state to search for memories in his dreams subconsciously. Sometime later, I got this painting in the mail. I suspect he found what he was looking for. Look at how he's smiling in front of that yellow house. You notice a broken yellow badge attached to the edge of the letter. Upon picking it up, you feel a strange shiver run through your body. You examine the badge a little closer and see a strange symbol along the back of it, but nothing to indicate what it might represent. There's something that makes you uncomfortable about this symbol. I'll look into this just in case. Sir, this badge seems interesting in some way I can't discern. Do you mind if I study it? Feel free to take it. The clutter is piling up in my office anyway. I don't have the time to look through every last thing here. Isn't this Anand? As always, you are not popular with animals. I don't know why all the animals seem so hostile to me. I don't think they're hostile. They just seem scared. The animals here are fairly docile, though you're a special case. Have you ever considered taking a part-time job as a zookeeper? Forget it. I don't want to be sued by any animal protection organizations. Look in the desert. Someone is planting seeds. He sings alone, infinitely sad. Who can tell me what he sings? Sad notes flow, no longer tell the ancient past. Nature's chant, experience yesterday, tomorrow again. The man was gone, and the moor was afield. The song was no longer heard, but the melody still lingered. You are fortunate enough to find several lucky clovers scattered among the gravel. Interesting. There are many phone numbers packed into a sheet of paper messily taped to the wall of the phone booth. The only number on there that interests you is for the railway office, which reads 635-85477. That's something to write down with. 635-85477. 635-85477. You also notice something under the edge of the sheet itself. You find a small card with no form of identification, just a string of numbers. 644-38813. Interesting. Let's try that other number first. 644-38813. 644-38813. There are many coins lying quietly inside. Result needed. Success, no consumption in this check. Can roll the dice only once. You can spend your luck to make a desperate bet after a failure. Succeeded. There are signs that the slot on this machine is broken. You get the feeling that any attempt to put money inside will result in a gamble of whether it works or not. Interesting. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Six four four three eight eight one three. Oh, I don't have to remember it? Okay. A voice chatters a single word over the line. Burstin. Verse you hear is unusually mechanical, to which you can only interpret as to be a tape recording. Burstin. After a period of ringing, you are met by the voice of an impatient man who informs you that the railway line has been closed for an unknown amount of time due to the mysterious disappearance of an Arkham-bound train. Oh, great. Um, can't read that. You think to yourself, maybe it would be good to travel once in a while. As you continue your day's journey, you pass by many quaint little villages and clusters of wild animals running free. The car eventually begins to pass the droves of cornfields and orchards. Now you are greeted by the multicolored leaves decorating the trees with bright red and gold colorations. As evening approaches, you follow the map marker to a mountain path. At this hour, the sky has gotten dark. Unfortunately for you, it has also begun to pour heavily. You're almost near your destination, but even as nightfall draws near, the town of Dunwich is still nowhere to be found. You continue to drive around and follow a map to find your hometown. Even as night falls, there's still no sign of Dunwich. All that you can see around are wild mountains. Just when you're about to give up, your eye catches a covered bridge halfway up the hill ahead. You'd continue to drive, but the stone columns in front of the bridge prevent the car from fitting through. A flock of fat rats appeared ahead. You wonder, even if it's night, why are such big rats around? A large wooden bulletin board reading "Welcome to Dunwich." The date of the last bridge repair is visibly painted under the bridge. It reads 1902-110 on the last column. This bridge has not been repaired for 18 years. You have no idea whether it's safe to walk on. Can we interact with anything else? Doesn't seem like it. Can we interact with our car? Oh, pickle. There are signs of passage. While some flooring looks newer, it generally seems solid with no signs of wood aging. As you cross the covered bridge, you notice a white mist enveloping the surrounding area. Turning around, you quickly realize that every direction other than your current path is impossible to make out. You can only continue forwards. You continue to venture into the mist. You quickly lose track of time before the all-encompassing fog finally lifts, only to be replaced by the darkness of night. By the time the light returns, you find yourself in the corridor of a ruined castle. Home sweet home! One pillar collapsed right in the middle of the hallway. How are there signs of weathering? It should take decades at the very least. You enter the bedroom. Most of the room has been wrecked by rubble quite some time ago. The many piles of rubble and layers of cobwebs make it look like a graveyard. Succeed, deduct 1 spirit point. If fail, deduct 1 to 3. Got a floorboard, okay. While most of what you can see is dust, cobwebs, and of course rubble, you carefully search for anything of potential interest. You eventually find a photo. You can tell from the photo that it shows a family group of about a dozen people. One of them is a graying old man standing in the middle. Next to him is a young couple holding a child with long light blue hair. The woman's complexion is pale as she seems tired. The man behind her is wearing a black broad-brimmed hat. You cannot see his face. The child in the middle turns out to be a girl you've never seen before. When you tried to take the photo with you, it turned into dust and ash, vanishing. Interesting. Use item. Jump. How about no? You got a 6. Okay. Something is coming out. Stealth. Try again. Try again. There we go. You see a torn portrait and a huge splinter through the wall behind it. There seems to be a secret passageway? I think they mean passageway behind it, but the intersection is blocked by collapsed rubble. There is a weird statue. You look closely at the sculpture, realizing that its limbs actually hold a similar structure to the human body. As you look at it intently, it seems to come alive. You reflexively feel a dizziness like something has been drawn away. Oh, okay. What skills do we got? Observe weakness. Okay, I don't have any of that yet. Sacrificial Strike? Speed minus 40 for the round, deals 2 to 12 damage, plus a damage bonus, then adds a random negative status to us. Okay. Use the equipped weapon to attack. The offhand weapon will attack will have a penalty dice. Got a fracture? First aid. Dang it. Can we light it on fire? Apply flammable explosive effect and item's durability or decrease by 1. Okay, really lucky. Okay. Dang it. Good. And throw. It is now on fire. Assume that's just going to do a burning effect for a little bit. I don't know if I want to touch him. So, do we have any magic? No, okay. Well, we won! Oh. You notice a pit below the cobweb floor, narrowly avoiding it. Glad you kept your guard up. Huh? These 2 books are intact. You sense something quickly falling from above. Is it a spider? A crystal falls and smashes to pieces with a dreadful impact, immediately rupturing into an explosion that stings your ears. Read the notebook. Ronald failed. I was forced to restrain him. Igna, what does this symbol mean? He carved on his body just before he lost his sanity? This must be an important clue. Ronald, your efforts will not be in vain. This does not appear to be the language of any living or past civilization. Someone like Ronald would have had much more information if he was still sane. I need to continue researching. I think I found it. This word means mentality. No, it means my spirit. That isn't it. What exactly is it? Many chaotic, torn, and twisted symbols appeared later. It can be discerned that the owner of this diary wasn't in a particularly good mental state. Unexpectedly, the rune must translate to mean them. It's them. I should have thought of this. I was thinking about them. I've been targeted by them. I must forget all this right now, immediately. No, I have to record it immediately. There was a long, torn line left behind, as if the tip was pressed hard against the paper. Then it was as if the pen tip was twisted off, leaving only the mark of a word. What? What's this? Why is there a key inside me? Oh, well, do I not get to read the tome? The crevice of history. You've come to a rather strange space. You look to the left and see the stars of the universe are shining brightly. This is your past. It's at this moment you start to feel that the joys and sorrows of these past 10 years were all in vain. Hello, how are you? We're playing some Depersonalization. It's a, to my knowledge, new game that's still currently in early access. I'm doing great. When you look to the right, the stars are dim. Here you see order and chaos alternating. You are shown bizarre images that are incomprehensible in such a short period of time. Good, I'm glad. Hey, thank you for the follow. Very much appreciated. You see many aberrant monsters spreading across the universe, each acting in a way you can only describe as full of distortion and madness, their very genes out of the genetic blueprint, drawing a sea of flesh and blood in their wake. You see the stars burning all around you. No, it's the whole universe burning. The burning stops, leaving only darkness forever. As previously stated, this game is early access. It's on PC Game Pass if you're wanting to take a look into it. It is a Chinese game. That's fine. But there's like some translational errors. On the left is the past where the stars in the universe shine brightly. On the right is the future. The darkness is ending. The darkness is endless. On the left is the past where the stars in the universe go to the past. As you step into the past, the figure of a young woman appears in the fissure of history. She stares at your back as you depart. She then gently closes her eyes as her body gradually dissolves into the void as she watches her child for the last time. Ancestral home 10 years ago. Did I really go back in time? She's not here. All the stuff that we took is gone. Kid in this photo. Is that really me? A group of black humanoids suddenly appears. Their faces are shaped of insect chelates, with blue fluid flowing where the eyes should be. Sticky tentacles emerge from behind them as sharp claws push out from their arms. A furtive whistle fills the air. You hear this miraculous rhythm which makes your mind go into chaos. As your thinking embraces the chaos, you feel unable to control your limbs. You watch yourself walk in the mirror. Throw gasoline. Decoy. First aid. This isn't good. Oh, we don't have the lighter anymore. If we go unconscious, we shock ourselves with the car battery. Okay. You open the door to the study and immediately realize you are not alone. You see your grandpa seated in his armchair. He smiles at you with a relieved expression, with a lingering sense of proudness at who you've become. His body begins to fade to light. You don't even have the time to mentally acknowledge sadness. Grandfather. What's this? Ooh, take bags. There we go. You open the box. In front of your eyes is a girl as delicate as a ceramic doll. Your heart is beating hard, but it's not because of its attractive appearance. You feel an extraordinary sense of familiarity, of nostalgia, of intimacy, of longing for wholeness. Then the girl seemed to be awakened by the noise and slowly sat up. You were about to ask some questions, but she cut you off first. You want to be vocal, but you can't control your body. She looked at you with a silver cross glow in her eyes. You feel an invisible bond with her. Then you heard her soft, ethereal voice in your mind. Starkey, I know how confused you must be. Come closer to me, and I'll tell you the truth about this time. The stars are shining in her eyes, and you can't help but move closer to her. Before you know it, she puts her hand slowly on your forehead. You feel your brain flooded with information. 10 years ago, when the disaster happened in study. The infection with the strange is different from simple physical assimilation. I've already tested all of the available spells and medicines. I can't even find a cure for Ronald. If I were to compare this situation to another, it's like allowing an egg without a shell to maintain its integrity, all while surviving the rapids of a waterfall, or allowing a person floating in the sea to rely on himself to withstand huge waves and storms. Ancestor, you once left a prophecy to warn us of this day. The mission of the Watchers and the price of truth are the same. Unparalleled sacrifice. I pray here for your revelation. The Lord of Gate, the Guardian of the Abyss, Lord of Dimensions, Riddle Knower, Guardian of the Secrets, the oldest all-in-one, the one by life prolonged, Umar Atwil, Yog Sothoth, Nephrathogun, your servant call upon you. I'm sorry. Are you still unable to answer my prayers? Did you say Yog Sothoth? As in Cthulhu's dad? We must go with the last resort. No matter what, we can't let the infection spread. The transport point to Seleno is ready. Now that the stars are in the right place, our success rate is up to 70%. I can't believe we look up at the stars for decades, only able to vanish among the stars at the last. What an ironic twist of fate. Right as the array is about to be activated, the space changes, as if it's the magic has been drawn away. The room twists and turns into an arch of rock, dividing the two sides into two worlds that do not interfere with each other at all, virtual and real. From inside the door played a soft, ethereal female voice. There is still a glimmer of hope. Are you willing to pay the price for it, though? As long as I can pay for it, please, take what you must. A pure silver and white light covered George Howard, its energy sparkling like a multitude of stars. He felt that he had never been so clear and insightful. As information continuously flows into his consciousness, George Howard's expression turns serious. So this is the history's truth. Now that I'm aware, I will do as you wish. Grandpa! The child pushes open the door to enter. In that instant, his body and actions are frozen. The static time begins to flow again. This is the separation being staged once again. You stubbornly refuse to leave until finally, under Grandpa's magic, you forget everything and leave like an empty container. Then I suppose it's time to pay my price. Just as George Howard was preparing for the end, a voice came from the void. Do you have a last wish? If I may, I would like to see him when he's grown up. The voice hesitated for a moment, as if in thought or calculation. I can only give you 1 second. Is that enough? That's certainly enough. The time and the space freezes, your mind is flooded with memories of the past. Maybe it's just a split second, or maybe it's years beyond thousands. Afogamore's consciousness was forced into a deep sleep, in order to not be affected by what remains of Aforgamon's influence. Yog-Sothoth buried the alienated parts under the ultimate gate. Calm has returned to the sunless sea, but the disordered assimilation continues. Chaos and entropy in the universe continue to grow slowly. Okay, well, I'm out of time for now. I've got some errands that I need to attend to, but I do hope you enjoyed the stream. Again, this has been Depersonalization. I may continue streaming this later. It's interesting. Again, it is early access, so it is a little rough around the edges. I like the style of it. It's very pretty. Um, you can definitely tell that there's a language barrier, there's some translational errors, but that's not very much of a big deal. I wish it was more obvious. I believe I figured it out, but I do wish it was more obvious with the uh, roll checks of what constitutes as a fail or a pass. But I got there. Um, but yes, I do hope you enjoyed. I want to thank. I'm going to pronounce. I'm probably going to butcher your name, but NG under 5. I do thank you for your follow. I will add you to our ending stream credits for the followers that I have. But with that being said, my name is Peacemaker. This has been Depersonalization, signing off.